All right, the third and final card that I would like to show you for the month of October is this one, using what I call the Joseph's coat technique in order to get that pretty, very pretty medallion going on. We are using a stamp set out of the Holiday Mini Catalog called Day of Gratitude. So we're using that big medallion. It is very large, fits nice on the block E for the clear block. So let me show you how to do that. The very first thing that you are going to do is add ink to, unbelievably, a piece of plain old Whisper white cardstock. We are going to add the colors of Cajun Craze, More Mustard, and Old Olive to this piece. I'm just going to show you a little bit, and then through the magic of television, I will have it all colored. And you want to do what's spotted, so spot a little bit on, go to another color, spot a little bit on, until your whole piece of white is filled up. All right, I have now sponged the entire background piece, that white piece. I'll prove it to you. It's white. White on one side, colored on the other. The next thing that I'm going to do is rub over that piece with the embossing buddy to take away anything that might be wet. Alright, I've rubbed over it with the embossing buddy. You can't really see that, but the little embossing buddy will take away any static or any wetness that there is. The next step is to take your Versamark pad and ink up your medallion stamp, and then stamp that medallion on your piece of paper that you have just inked and also rubbed with your embossing powder. Press good to get good contact. Lift up, and once you lift up, Versamark is an ink that is clear, so you really don't see it. You see it a little bit. The next step is to put embossing powder over that. And we are just going to use clear embossing powder. So I've rubbed that entire thing or poured embossing powder on that entire thing. Now I'm going to shake it off. And when you shake it off, you need to make sure that you did a very, very good job. I don't know if you can see it, but up in there are a few crystals, and I want to get rid of those. So I'm going to just tap it on the table, check it out, and tap again until they're all gone, okay? Because if you have them floating around, it is not a good thing. All right, looks pretty good. The next step is to take a heat tool and heat that until the embossing powder is totally heated. I'm going to start it a little bit, and then again through the magic of television, it will be done. There you go. Can you see how that white stuff just turns very glossy? Again, through the magic of television, I have finished that up. So that whole thing is now heated, and it is dry. I'm going to let it cool just a teeny bit to tell you about our layers here. We have Cajun Craze as our base layer. The next layer is a layer of Early Espresso cut 4x4. The next layer is a layer of More Mustard, cut 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and then the piece of Whisper White over the top is 3.5 by 3.5. All right, that is probably now cool. The next step is to take an ink pad of Early Espresso and a brayer. Take the brayer, ink it up on the Early Espresso, okay? Ink it, ink it, ink it. Take your piece of cardstock that you have, and you are now going to brayer across that with Early Espresso. And if you don't have enough ink, you add more until it is really, really black. I have now inked up that medallion so it is totally black. Notice that the medallion is a little bit hard to see, but the next step is to take like a tissue or something and wipe across that medallion. And if you wipe across that medallion, what happens is that ink does not stick to where you embossed, and that's how you get the beauty of the medallion. Hopefully that gives you some insight to the third project for the month of October. Talk to you later.